All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Baba Mike Bamiloye. Do you guys know who Baba Mike Bamiloye is? How many people grew up in Nigeria in the 90s? Ishawuru, Ayamatanga. And then eventually we learned that possibly what that person was saying is, I am at anger. Like, I am angry. Ayamatanga. Some of you had nightmares in the 90s because of this series. Agbaranla, right? How many people remember that? You guys remember? Yeah. All right, let's see here. There's a video here, and then I'm gonna play this video, and then we'll talk about it. Let's see.
Good morning.
No, before this video, I should give you guys a backstory. Okay, so Mike Bamiloye posted something earlier on, and that was a long epistle to women not getting ready for marriage, you know, and we're going to cover that. But let me see what my sister Chidima said here before we continue. She said, Ola, I disagree somewhat. Sometimes people talk about race if the man, as a black man, is known to make bearing statements about black women and idolizes white women. So when she burned, some black women are like, see, we are not the problem. So which part did you disagree with? I don't disagree with what you just said, though. Which part do you disagree with? Let me know while I continue the story. I don't disagree with that at all. And I see Myra supporting, say, especially in this case where the woman said sisters need to be submissive to their king. Yeah, I don't cover that side of the story, that's why. But let me know which part. I don't disagree with what you guys are saying. It's just not my focus, though. My focus is that regardless of what race you go, if you go into marriage not knowing what you're doing, this will happen in one shape, form, or the other. It might not be AK-47 on the floor. It might be something else on the floor. It might be condoms with cum inside of it on the floor. Who knows, right? But it will show somehow. You disagree with me saying it's not about race. No. My own lessons are not about race. Obviously, everybody thinks it's about race, including you. The lessons I'm extracting out of this is not about race. It's about know what you're doing before you enter marriage, because the same thing will happen. You just won't be blaming it on race at that time, right? That's what I'm saying. The same thing will be happen, but it won't be easy for you to blame it on race, because clearly you're not married to a black woman, right? The same thing will happen in a different form. And those things that will happen in a different form, I want us to pay attention to. I want us to be able to identify it with or without the obvious things that we blame, like race and stuff like that. You know, this is the Prestige family, so I have a whole special angle there. But I don't disagree with what you're saying. All the dragging that's going on, it's like dragging passport bros, right? If they're being dragged for their choices, thinking they can escape and run to the other side, the grass is greener, they deserve that, all of it. So I don't disagree with that. Let's see here. So Baba Mike Bamiloye says, red flag along the way. I am so angry of the youths of this generation. Let me make it bigger so you guys can read it with me. Thank you, Chidima. See that? Yep. All right. So I am so afraid of the youth of this generation. Many are not preparing enough to enter into marriage. Many are very shallow in their knowledge of marriage. They prepare more for the wedding day than for the marriage life. No deep studies on what marriage entails. Right. Okay, so let's keep going. So he's saying everybody in general so far, right? They are too hasty and not ready to sit down and learn the principles of marital life. Many ladies are not qualified to be wife even at 28. No, so now he's starting to focus on the women, okay? All right, so now he's starting to focus on the women. Let's keep going. They can't cook properly. They are used to fast food at the entries, and ice cream and indomie and spaghetti plus boiled eggs and Titus. And they spend 6 months studying the wedding gowns and the accessories for the bridal trails. And they want to marry, in all caps. This is Baba Mike Bamiloye talking. Okay. My dear sister is 26, but she is still not yet a wife material. But she is beautiful, but she cannot cook. She is not spiritually strong in prayers, and she has a shallow knowledge of the word of God. That sister is like me in terms of I'm not a Bible scholar, okay, and honestly my interest is extremely low. May God forgive me. Help me. Pray for me. Just pray for me, okay? How would she withstand the spiritual challenges that comes against every home now? Okay, so for the past about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, he gave 2 paragraphs to everybody. But the next 5 paragraphs is about women. Let's see if we will get to some men knowledge at some point. Let's keep going. How would she withstand the spiritual challenges that comes against every home now? How would she take her stand in the word of God against every wiles of the devil that blow against every Christian home now? That sounded like Joy, a general JJ Bonnie all over again. But let's continue. Let's continue. No shades at Joy. I like Joy. You know, I think she's a rock star, but she needs to stay on the journey. Anyway, too materialistic and very little knowledge of home management. Okay, that sounds like women. He's talking to y'all ladies. The other time a friend of hers, that's a woman, was going to her husband's house. She went with a big book of cookery, which was published in the UK. It was published in the UK. That must mean something. Unfortunately, there was no recipes for the cooking of Nigerian food. Wahala. Then I was told she downloaded some applications on her Android phone on how to cook. She spent several months preparing for wedding day. Wait now, I thought she was trying to know how to cook. But few moments to study. Oh, she only spent a few moments to study what marriage life is. If love is blind at courtship, it is marriage that will open the blind eyes. That's true. Now, our young sisters, he's still talking to the ladies. Ladies, how y'all feel? How do y'all feel so far? It's Elder Mike Bamiloye, Pastor Bamiloye talking to you. She's talking to you. Let me see. Before I continue, let me come to the chat. Jeezy threw his son through the shower. Jeezy didn't see some of his kids. He gave her ample data. No, she knew. She definitely knew what she was doing. She can't claim that she didn't know what she was doing. But she probably thought she was going to save the day. But I don't want to talk about that side. Everyday marriage, Nigeria no get other issues they want to resolve. Me, they extract them. They have other stuff, or they're dragging Mobad today. But you know, me, I have to cover my own area. They're dragging Mobad's Wumi today on Twitter. But I'm done with that, okay? I'm kind of done with that. Yes, same guy, Chidima. I see this write-up from his lens. Stories that never happened. But Ben came in. Oh, he would love this write-up. I thought it came in. But Ben is not yet here. At least we don't know. Marry Amaka gown and unbrushed hair. Okay, so let's continue. Just wanted to make sure that I'm staying with you guys. All right, so then I was told she downloaded. Okay, then she spent several months preparing for the wedding day, but few moments to study what marriage life is. If love is blind, marriage will open your eyes, your blind eyes. Okay, now our young sisters are being taught how to walk out of marriage. They are teaching them how to divorce their husbands. Many of them are rushing in and they are being taught how to rush out of it when things are not working out as expected. The reality is that we are seeing things of that type of shade, but that's not just that. There are reasons. There are underlying issues, Baba. But let's keep going. I am against abuse to women. I'm sure you are. I am against abuse to wives. A man that beats or tortures his wife is an animal, unfit to live among human. Let me read it like Baba Ishawuru would say. The Bible says he has done it to himself. And there are also many abuses going against men in the closet. That's true. However, we are now having too many breakings and separations and divorce among children of God. They are speaking out finally. I thought it wasn't happening in the church. Like, divorce will now happen in this church in Jesus' name. They've been hiding it for so long. They can't hide it anymore. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. No endurance, no respect, no perseverance, no patience. When things do not go as expected, it becomes incompatibility. That is true. You guys are very quick to yield to compatibility Not just women, men as well. And our youths, especially ladies, are being taught to walk out for no reason. Walk out of their marriages. So today, 80% of marriages are divorces. 100% of marriages are initiated by men, while 80% of it are initiated by women. Do the math. It's not matching up. That's not fair to men. Imagine 100% of marriages are initiated by men. 80% of divorce are initiated by women. What is going on with our women? No, I'm adding all of that. Trust, I'm just adding all of that. Okay, let me come back to this. I'm adding my own jara. Everything I said in the last 2 minutes, Baba, Mike BAMILOYE did not say it. Okay, let's get back to it. All right. As a child of God, okay. No, let's get back. Incompatibility. And our youth, I'm going back. So the last thing he said is incompatibility. Okay. And our youth, especially ladies, are being taught to walk out of the marriages. So today, many young marriages are not fulfilled. Every marriage has its rough edges. Facts. Sister. Okay, he's still talking to the sisters. He's talking to the sisters. Sister, when you were in courtship as a child of God, you ought to have noticed. He's talking about, by the way, he's talking to children of God, okay? And don't act like you don't know what children of God means. I know you're a child of God, but when Baba Ishawuru is talking about children of God, that's a different type of children of God. So if he wasn't talking to you, he wasn't talking to you, okay? He's talking about children of God, not unbelievers. I'm not saying you're an unbeliever, but you know what I mean when Baba Ishawuru says unbeliever. That's a different thing entirely. Pay attention, okay? He says, you ought to have noticed some little devilish behavior in the young man. He didn't say it's your fault. Not yet, okay? But he might as well say it. But anyway, the red flags. He's talking about the red flags, which the Holy Spirit was pointing to you as red flag. But you were too much in love. You were too much. This sounds like he's talking to Jinimai right now. Or Jinime. Is it Jinime? I think it's Jinime, right? It doesn't matter. Okay. You saw that AK-47, but you were too much in love. You thought you were going to save him from black women. Crazy. You were too much impatient to get into marriage with him, or you noticed them, but you wish them away as ordinary habits. God will change him. What then was the meaning of courtship? Was it not to prayerfully keep watching along the way and to eventually confirm if truly this is of God? The Holy Spirit must have shown you many things. I'm reading this for the first time, by the way. I only read the first 2 lines. I'm like, this will be interesting. I'm scheduling a show. Right? Oh, Lord. Interesting. The Holy Spirit must have shown you many things you need to know to give you directions and red flags. But love covered your eyes. Now marriage has opened the eyes. Okay. Let me check something really quickly. You in a rush? I'm sending a message to my client for 8 p.m. See if they're in a rush, because the way this show is going like this. Yes. No. Okay. All right. She's a Prestige family member. I just want to make sure that it's okay. And if it's not okay, please do let me know. All right. So what then was the Holy Spirit must have shown you many things you need to know to give you directions and red flags, but love covered your eyes. Now marriage has opened the eyes. Brother, all through the courtship you had. Okay, now it's talking to brothers finally. Stop the cap. Some people were saying he never talked to the brothers. That's what they were saying.
Stop the cap.
Somebody was saying he never talked to the brothers, but let's see how much he talked to the brothers. Let's see what he said to the brothers. Brother, all through the courtship, you had noticed this sister has no credentials in domestic affairs. Ha! Straight bullet. Straight bullet. I thought I was talking to the brothers, but straight bullet. I know somebody felt that. You had noticed a lot of disrespectful behaviors against leaders and relatives. Disrespectful behaviors. She's probably talking about the assertiveness. Okay. He's probably talking about the assertiveness. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. The disrespectful and assertiveness are two different things. Let's be clear about that. Okay. But it depending on what man you're dealing with, it can be interpreted as disrespect. Okay. You had noticed her stubbornness. There we go. We're getting there. And arrogance and stiff-neckedness, coconut head back and forth. Let's keep going. Straight bullet. Yet you ignored all this. You never made any corrections. You never took any steps to groom the future bride. And the few moments you had attempted to correct her, she had put up a terrible resistance that took you many days to apologize. Wait, you had put up a terrible resistance that took you many days to apologize. Blue ball. I was talking about blue balls at this point. Yet you did not know that you were being shown red flags, all in cap. Sister, you had seen this brother on many occasions eyeing other sisters. You see, his eyes was doing like this, like, would you come and do. You saw it, but you ignored it because you were in love. Anyway, sister, you had seen this brother on many occasions. You had read many of his text messages to some strange sisters in the Lord, also believers. No, he didn't say that. And on each occasion, okay, these were church bodies. He's talking about church bodies, that's all. Okay. And on each occasion, you accosted him. He kept on apologizing. I didn't know. He meant nothing. You're special to me. You're the one. Okay? You're the one. He told a lot of lies as a Christian, and you knew this. Wait, is a Christian and telling lies? How did you get here? Let's finish this. Okay, Malachi is coming up. Since you remained in it and went on with it, it means you are absolutely convinced it is the will of God for you. Now you're married. Now he bore out his full fangs. Now you married her. And talking to the brother now. Now you married her. And she came out in her full color. You know, you now call it abuse. You're now calling it abuse. Come here. You're not calling it abuse. You saw this all along. Come here. Sorry. Oh, Lord. You're not calling it abuse. Some people are now teaching you how to walk away from the marriage. What does this verse of the scripture mean to you? Malachi 2:16. For the Lord God of Israel says that he hates divorce, for it covers one's garment with violence, says the Lord of hosts. Therefore, take heed to your spirit, that you do not deal treacherously. Is there need for patience? Be patient. Is there a need for endurance? Endure with prayers and doing the right things. It's always this right thing. Always find a way to creep into this. The right thing, always find a way to creep into that situation.
You're right.
Is there a need for you to look inward for things you ought to do? This is self-accountability. Okay? Prayerfully look inward. Does he want to kill you? Hide your life. Okay. Anyway. All right. So now what I just read to you with my own Jara is essentially what Baba Mike BAMILOYE said. Okay. And this young lady has a response for Baba Mike BAMILOYE. She does. She has a response for Baba Mike BAMILOYE. Let me see. Okay, great. I got you. All right, good. So I don't have to rush out of here. Cool. Because I'm looking at that hour. I'm like, got a few more to cover. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me come to the chat real quick. Let me see what you guys have been talking about. I'm dramatic. I'm sorry. But I bet don't arrive. But I bet how far? How you there? Let me come here. He said he's listening. My guy, of course, is listening. That's my brother. All right. Just want to make sure I cover your chats, because that's what we do here. I never want to leave you guys hanging. All right. So, Brother Ben said, I'm listening. 26 years old with a cookery book, not YouTube, not CCME blog. Stop the lies. The whole UK. Don't forget, though, manufactured and published in the UK. Don't forget that. But I bet answer when we call him. Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's keep rushing. No, we can't rush. Yes, divorce is everywhere because human beings are everywhere. Where is the lie? He's stating the fact. Women are being taught how to divorce their husband. Where is the lie? That's a good point. Here's the thing. There's never really lies in some of these submissions. Remember, I always say it's not about right and wrong, or I'm telling the truth. Everybody, first of all, me telling somebody that they're not telling the truth, I'm telling them they're lying. I'm being disrespectful to anybody, regardless of who it is. Once you tell me it's just the truth, I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's when I say, yeah, of course you're right.
You're right.
So, in fact, what makes this kind of submission more dangerous is the fact that at least 99%, not 99, but maybe 80% of it is, you can see the truth, like some common sense stuff there. But that's actually what makes it dangerous, because it's quite confusing. There are poisons inside of it. The poisons, they're not intentional. This man means well. He really just wants to see a better result. He wants to see marriages work, right? Now, when we get to is he capable? Does he have full context? Can he conceptualize the full, like all the variables that goes into what we're dealing with? That's another story entirely. Now, oftentimes when they are telling the truth, obviously they have good intentions. They do. Okay, that's the honest truth, and that's why I will always be respectful when I address this. But we must address them, because those small poisons is all it needs to continue to destroy the family unit, but even worse, to destroy the people in this family unit, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. Now, if their generation got it right, we wouldn't be in this mess. And that's not to blame them. That's just to say, hey, there's something they didn't know. Whatever that was that they didn't know, we need to start shining some light on that small 2%, where it's not that it's wrong. We can add small context to it, so that, no, it's not wrong. And I mean that when I say that, it's not wrong. But no lies, absolutely. But let's talk about it. Only talk about men is physically abused men, straight to the extreme. No other issues apparently. There are no other issues mentioned. There were definitely no emotional level type of conversation in that. If anything, he's actually shooting down anything that has to do with emotional talk. Like, you not call that abuse? He definitely didn't talk. He talked about the word of God driven type of, like, prayerfully. That's just religion. That's all he talked about. And the reality we're talking about is that there are people inside of church that obviously they are collecting. Clearly it's not working. Now you can say it's because they are not listening. Well, clearly you're not listening to them, because they're trying to say something and you're not listening. Maybe you're not capable of listening at that level. That's not necessarily your fault, but it's just what it is, and we need to address that, right? Let's keep going. A lot of these people should have never married. No, I won't be. No, not so quick. Shout out to K Asuko. Shout out to you. Thanks for being here. Not so quick. Okay, they had a different context. There were some things that worked for them, right? And you can argue that it didn't work for your mother because your mother had a terrible story that she told you. Mothers also did a terrible job at telling those stories, not realizing that those stories becomes your reality and they're not teaching you anything. So that's that angle on that end, right? And when I say they're not teaching you anything, I mean across the board, right? They take their pain, they pour it into you, but then they forgive their husbands and move on quickly. But you are stuck with, especially now your first boyfriend, you start to collect with you're like, these are new men was come. There's a lot more to that, So should not have been married. They married because people are doing kerewa. They must marry. They must reproduce. They married. That's the fact. But I know what you mean. They didn't know what they were doing. They shouldn't be getting married. Whatever they were doing, for example, he has a beautiful wife. Whatever they did worked for them. Now, did it work for their followers? That's another question, right? That's another topic entirely. What's the percentage of their followers that it worked for? Clearly, the church is now going through an epidemic of divorce everywhere. How do I know? Because everybody, they go to church. Everybody's born again. It's not the 90s. Everybody are born again right now. Okay? They just will hide it. Oh, Lord. Back to original programming. Never change. No, my brother is here. He did not disappoint. I could have predicted where this write-up was going. And that's the thing. The predictability is the problem. If you pay attention to what I say here, it's very hard to predict where I'm going. Now, if you listen long enough, I do have patterns. Okay? You will be able to finish my sentence if you listen long enough. But extremely hard to do, because the way I see these things is case by case by case. Generalizations are normal. We're human beings, we generalize, but they are the devil. The same way I will tell you that you are your own worst demon, your own worst enemy, right? Obviously you are not a devil, but like your mindset is what I'm talking about, right? Chidiba say, Ola, you're so dramatic. Uncle Mike should give you scripts. I know. We have to make this fun. Yeah, I'm not an actor. I'm not an actor at all. I am not a actor. Children of God, can I shout hallelujah? Shout hallelujah to Lord 10 times. The children of God, child of God. Many of you are children of God. This sounds like a Tyler Perry script. They should link up. But we're talking about Baba Ishauru. He knows what he's doing when it comes to Christian Nollywood of Nigeria. Like, these are the kings of Christian Nollywood of Nigeria. That's the thought. God will change him. It's not going to happen. Could it work? Love causes unheard of behavior. AG Ohio, what's up? Welcome. If Brother Allah becomes a pastor, we're all in trouble because this performance. What did I do? Was it that serious? He was performing in the text now. I'm going to play this auntie for you. You will see performance. All right? You will see performance. Wait for it. Tinye Maji. Good intentions down in the poro. Yes. I say this all the time. It's not that the Baba is wrong. It's just that it's irrelevant. It's not relevant to what is actually going on. It's not relevant. It's not. Baba is trying to help, but it's not. What he's saying is not relevant. Wait, so you ladies disagree that women are being taught how to leave their marriages? That's absolutely not what's going on, right? Nobody is sitting and say, "Hey, here is how you leave your marriage." You don't have to teach people that. They can listen. There's a big billboard in front of my house here that says divorce 300. It used to be $199. It's now like $399 or $499. They're advertising. Okay, is that what if that's what you're talking about, Brother Ben, you're right. Okay, if that's what you're talking about,
well, you're right.
However, there's no woman that's really enjoying a marriage that's leaving that marriage. It just, in fact, you ever heard of Pick Me before? They'll be shaming her like this. She'll like, to hell with all of you. And then women supporting women will end up in the poto. You'll find out because she's not leaving that marriage for anybody. That's what we need to be talking about. Why is it that she wants to leave the marriage? No, let's not talk about that. It's just it's just nonsense. It's just more endurance that you need. Mara said, who is teaching them? Even if those people that carry marriage on their head like basket, or those people that are carrying marriage like she's reading my mind. They're carried married on their head like baskets of tomatoes. So why do we have high rate of divorce among women in toxic marriages? Among women in toxic marriages. So let me address this. It doesn't have to be toxic based off of me and you's definition of toxic. It just needs to feel toxic to that person, right? See, when we're grown up, this is not agbo, right? Me, I don't like agbo. I never like agbo. Okay, I think you are my enemy if you give me agbo to drink. You have good intentions. Yes, I'm a little sick. I'm running fever, and you give me agbo. Like herbs for my Oyibo people, the herbs that they cook inside of water and it's bitter. I don't like it. But then there's always this auntie that's always trying to force me to drink it because the auntie has good intentions. That agbo is bitter in my mouth. Okay? Now, when I become a full bona fide adult, what matters is that agbo is bitter in my mouth and I don't want it. That's what matters. Okay? Now, if you like me, okay, and you really feel like I need to take this medicine, but I'm still walking around, I feel like I can get away with it, you better be putting that agbo inside of candy. There we go. I knew it. You want us to sugarcoat the message for them to eat it. Exactly. I knew it. You want us to sugarcoat the message, don't you? Don't sugarcoat it, okay? We're talking about your wife now. Your wives. Okay? We're talking about your children. You will end up in these streets. Don't sugarcoat it. Just give them bitterness and toxicity as much as, because it's the truth. Keep doing it. We'll see how far we go with that. All right. Women are not randomly told to leave their marriages from nowhere. It's usually when there is DV. It's actually not mostly DV. It's not necessarily DV. It's mostly emotional stuff, okay? A lot of gaslighting, a lot of emotional trauma, a lot of emotional abuse, verbal abuse, for the most part, okay? For the most part. DV is not happening at that rate that we talk about it. If it was happening, it would be a war zone out here, because you're talking about people's daughters and people's sisters and aunties and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it would be a war zone if it's happening. Now, it's one too many, don't get me wrong. For every single DV cases, it must be handled like it's like it's everybody. But also, some of these arguments are coming from a place of enough people are saying like, what is this DV you're talking about, right? Now, it's more than enough that we need to talk about. And sometimes people are just shove each other and they don't see that. Now we need to start looking at that as DV. If you're shoving yourself or you push him in the head like that, that's where those skins are coming from, okay? But majority of these cases are people that are actually trying to do the right thing. They kind of know that they shouldn't do that, but they stay in it long enough to they just have it to hear. The resentments just from mouths and like lethal weapon, it's just too much. People have said things that they can't take back, that they can't forgive. You'll be shocked how many marriages are ending just like that, you know. But yes, DV is part of it. If they weren't taught to leave, some women would rather buy in their toxic marriage and leave. So tell me, where is the lie? You're saying what we're saying, Brother Ben. What you just said sound toxic. You're still right.
You're right.
This sounds so toxic. No, I know you said toxic marriages already, but even the full paragraph, it's like, wait, where's the lie? No, he did not lie. I already said that. Let's keep going. Don't worry. Let's keep going. The women are tired and they have survived on their own. He said toxic marriage. That's why they are divorced. No, listen, if she doesn't want to be there, she does not need to be there. You can call me the teachers of divorce. Please feel free to call me that. If a person, I don't know why you want to stay married to a person who wants to leave. I don't understand it. That part blows my mind away. Why do you want to stay married to a person that wants to leave? I don't understand. I kind of understand. The same reason why women will stay in toxic relationships, right? And you have vested interest and all this kind of, but it's not healthy. They will still end up leaving, but with a lot more trauma, right? So the best thing is to pull back, even if that's not a permanent decision. Pull back and understand what's going on. Seek help so that you can actually see if it's necessary to move forward or not, okay? But there's no good in staying in toxic situations. Either we're talking about marriage, friendship, a workplace. There's no good that can come out of it. No good can come out of it. It's just the damages are too great. Okay, beyond you too, into your children. So I can't shape my mouth to, I'm okay with being called a divorce teacher, teaching people to divorce. People being asked to leave the marriage is not the issue. The issues are the deeply rooted problems going on, causing women told to leave the marriage. Apt. Yep. I'm tired of women being attacked the whole time. Imagine I found out today my 35-year-old cousin got married 2 years and the issues plenty. The wife don't want him to help his siblings and he's just doing. I miss that. Shout out to Adeyemi Sharon, welcome. Boy, you vant. I missed that. Maybe I'm a little behind. Stuff's behind her. Like, what the hell? He's just doing stuff. Oh, he's doing stuff behind her. What the hell? Well, that's what people do. They go into marriage out of not knowing what they're doing. Somebody told them, well, you should make sure you're keeping something to the side. There's enough people saying that out there, because hey, just do what works for you. Like, well, people are doing what works for them. What do you want from them? Let's acknowledge the man is staying the fact. Let me see. You see, same problem. Let's acknowledge the man is saying the fact first before driving our energy towards his intentions. Let me do that one more time.
Well, you're right.
That man is saying the fact. Thank you, Allah. Let's not talk about the issues, just the divorce. Like Baba just lacks skills and I'm pained. The way he's handling everything is wrong. This is it. Because they are being taught by people like Baba Mike Bamiloye. He say, hey, they are teaching them to leave divorce. Right? Because why? Because he's saying facts. He's very good at spelling out what the problem is. No solution. Well, some kind of solution, but the solution is clearly not working, This Baba didn't even encourage the men to do better in their marriage, as well as in addition to women learning how to cook or whatever else the Baba talked. I think learning how to cook is completely irrelevant to what makes marriage successful in 2024. I think it's absolutely irrelevant. Could make sense. Go and tell them I said it. Could make sense. Okay? If you want somebody that can cook, she will cook for you. You can decide that up front. Okay? If you decide to marry her after she doesn't cook, clearly something else attracted you to her. She was good enough to marry, but now you want to talk about she can't cook. I beg. Now, the Baba talking about cook is disconnected from reality. And in the same breath, he talked about fast food and all this kind of... Were there fast food in the 90s like that? Okay, why are we mixing things in different contexts with another context? Okay. Were there people walking around the clock to support the family in the 90s like that? Maybe in the 90s. But, clearly they were pushing against it small. And now they're absolutely pushing against it. The question is that why are they pushing against it? We can't get stuck at they're pushing against it. Why are they pushing against it? I'm not saying they are right for pushing against it. But we need to ask why first they are pushing against it. That is the number one step in the direction of solutions. No, we cannot take a book that was written 4,000 years ago. We can't do that. Shout out to Cynthia, I see you. We can't do that. That's not good enough solution. What do you want me to tell you? But this is the holy book. I know, me too, I love it. I think that book has everything it needs. But see finish, don't enter. The way you interpret it is the way your brain works. It's cancelled out, okay? You need something else. You need additional context. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? You need the right interpretation, not the interpretation you were raised with that clearly did not work. I personally think the Bible is a complete book, all right? However, when you interpret it a certain way, some people say it sounds misogynistic. The people will dig it out for you. And some other angle, they say it's patriarchy, right? Some other angle, some people say, no, it's not patriarchy. It's what the Lord told us. You're confused. That's what we can conclude out of that. Okay? You're confused. We're in a different context. Clearly, we need to reassess where we are. So when there's problems, We can't say you are speaking the facts when all you're doing is spelling out what the problem is. We agree there is a problem. Now I can say it's facts. You're right. The problem is facts. Now what? Now what? But you can't even teach Nigerian women leave because they love marriage so much. Yeah, it's almost impossible to teach Nigerian women to leave too, because they literally worship marriage. Even when they are dying, Jesus. Even with DV, Nigerian women will still manage. Verbal abuse and emotional abuse is DV. Ola, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I stand corrected on that. You're right. I was just thinking actual violence. All those are DV now. Remember, there are different types. Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. I'm surprised what Ola is saying. Yeah, I missed that. Thanks for correcting. I stand corrected on that. But when I hear DV, I'm thinking, we're saying the same thing. I'm just saying there's all those happening that makes people, even the skill of a praying mouse this Baba is talking about will not even help in some circumstances. I mean, listen, I think prayer works, but if you're praying about the wrong things, if you're praying in the wrong direction, this is a conversation I have to have with my parents all the time. I said, I know you believe so much in prayer, but you have to pray the right prayer. Remember yesterday I talked about purposeless prayer. People are just praying, no purpose behind it, nothing strong behind it. It's just, they literally do that in churches. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Slap yourself. Now this is what they're teaching them. Just say anything, speak in tongues. Just say anything. Now that's what they're teaching them. And somehow they think that's going to help them in marriage. I beg. That's the truth. A woman will not be enjoying the marriage and wants to leave. That is a fact. Okay? Even if she's just mad and it's an enjoyable marriage, she's just too mad to not enjoy the marriage. It translates to the same thing. She's not enjoying the marriage. Why would you want to stay married to that person? Brothers, don't you think we should get that help? Right? At the very minimum. Why would you want to pretend like that marriage is good? It's no good. Shout out to Cynthia Jare. I think he read DV. The first thing that came to his mind. Yeah, DV. Yeah, thank you. You guys know where I'm coming from. You guys know where I'm coming from. MOP, all I'm saying is the Baba is right. Two women are being taught to leave the marriages. No. So let me actually be clear on that. He's actually wrong. Nobody is being taught to leave marriages. The lawyers will take your money, but nobody's. Show me one video. Show me one video where somebody sits somebody and say, hey, I know you're enjoying that marriage. This is how you leave. Leave. Show me one video. That's the task for you, brother. That's a challenge. Okay? Show me one video where somebody say, hey, don't get carried away. These men are evil. This is how to leave your marriage. Show me one video. If you can show me one video, I will yield. And that's a good thing. If not, it's not why do we have coaches, counselors teaching people. No, that's not why. The why we have coaches, counselors is because those marriages are toxic. They're not working. That's why. It's not because people are being taught to leave their marriage. This one is math, but I mean, there's one like this. There's one, how to leave a marriage, how to divorce. There's another one entirely that says, what you experience is valid. It's a toxic marriage, okay? You have options, okay? You can work on it, you can walk away, okay? You have the rest of your life ahead of you, okay? But this one has reasons. This one is the one you're talking about is just, hey, here's how to live. No, they're two different things. Okay, so no, I don't agree, and it seems like the chat are not agreeing, maybe because they're women, and maybe I'm just pandering to them. It is what it is, but they're two different things. No one is sitting anybody anywhere and teaching people to leave their marriage. Okay. However, his message was meant for his followers and those who believe in his balablu. I mentioned that too earlier. Yeah, he didn't state the problem at all, just the symptoms. Yeah. So that's another way of saying. So he's good at talking about what the problems. What I meant to say is the symptoms. But what is the actual disease that's creating these problems? What is the actual problems that's creating this? What is the actual disease that's creating the symptoms in medical language? They get very, very good at spelling out what the symptoms are. She did this, she did this, she did that. We do the same thing with men. He did this, he did it, he did it, he did that. Okay. What else is going on behind the scenes? It takes a minute because everybody feels like they've been wrong. It takes a minute to uncover that. You cannot jump on the internet and generalize and think you've said fact. All you did is generalized, which is okay, but all you did is generalized. Okay. Mama put can be considered as fast food, Abby. No, not really. That's another angle. That's true. But fast food is, nobody was going to the booker to go and collect food that they did for dinner after people are tired in the evening. I think fast food is usually more like drive-bys. You can drive by and stuff like that. And then the truth is that we are getting more and more in that culture. And sometimes competent men will say, "Hey, babe, don't worry about that. Don't worry about cooking tonight," because naturally the woman she has a stronghold behind her brain that makes her even want to cook, generally speaking. So that's really not the issue. So even if she didn't know how to cook, she generally wants to try to learn how to cook. I get the comparison with preparing for wedding. I think it's two irrelevant things. People will prepare for wedding now. People will prepare for wedding. Be spending money on weddings since before time. They're two irrelevant things. If you want to encourage people to learn how marriages work, that's an ongoing thing. First of all, you're not going to learn how marriages work before marriage. All you can do is go to premarital counseling. But you're going to see shege. Okay? Your patience, your temperament, all this stuff they're all going to get tested. No matter how much you prepare. Okay? And that's not a negative thing. It's called growth. It's just like life itself. Okay, that's just how it works. Feel me? And as you go through life, you learn your pivot. Marriage has to be treated similarly. You're just doing life with another person. It's not as complicated as we're thinking. You can't put marriage on that pedestal. Marriage is two lives doing it as one, right? As leverage, so we can build together. And then, there's going to be friction. But once you figure it out, right? Not figure it all out, but once you figure it out, it's bliss. But that's not going to fall out of the skies. That's not going to happen without being tested. That's not going to happen without you going through some stuff. And I think that was part of his message too. I gave him a lot of passes. If you listen carefully to how I was analyzing it, he was saying a lot of things that's just what it was, But the Bible-laced stuff, and then God hates divorce. We hate divorce too. People that go through divorce hate divorce. Stop quoting that. That's not relevant. You just ask yourself, why is it that something that people hate, people want to swallow it? What happened? What went wrong is the question we should be asking. Especially if you're an influential person. We need to be asking why. Now, I don't care for him balancing between men and women. Okay? I just need, I needed a little bit more. When it comes to, if you're going to address women, when it comes to marriage, you really have to bring it down to case by case. It gets very complicated. Praying amiss when someone needs to do some individual work, could it work? No, God is not a magician God. That one is fake speaking in tongues. And it annoys me when they say that it's something that flows through your mouth and you don't have control over it. No, that's not that. Listen, it's a modern age just to say anything, okay? Mr. Ola is sugar eye, making me laugh. I am. Was I acting out? I don't calm down, but I bet don't calm me down. Let me calm down. But Ben, coaches and counselors are for men and women. Please, don't argue with your destiny. Listen, I have my plix, but it's not ready. The next show, I promise, I'll bring it up. My plix sound effect is ready, but not ready. It's not yet on the screen. All right. Statistics A says otherwise. It says what? Brother Ben is insulting women. Does it mean that women don't have brains to think that they are zombies? But he didn't say that. He didn't say that. Zombies being remote controlled. Brother Ben, I beg, chop your amala quietly. About chance, what's going on? Anyway, let's play this auntie. This is a longer story than I thought, but let's play this auntie and let's see what she has to say. You know, I really think now, like Brother Ben was saying, I felt like this auntie is not in the audience of Baba, and some of us will just eat other people's Panadol too much sometimes. But since it's public, let's talk about it. It's public. He was talking to, if he makes it public, he's talking on Twitter and people follow him, then he must expect that people will respond to him. Let's see what auntie has to say.
Good morning. I come in peace.
Good morning, auntie.
We have a crisis in this country. Women are not in this world to take care of men. We didn't come into this world to take care of all the children.
Jesus.
And all the errands and all the activities around the house.
Jesus.
I am tired of a society that continue to push this narrative. Yesterday, Pastor Mike BAMILOYE posted a long epistle of, how women today are not prepared for marriage, and he has this advice. 95% of the advice was for women and 5% was for men. You know what? We have women in this country that are over prepared for marriage. That was all we heard all of our lives. Good morning.
Hold on, let me push that forward.
We have a crisis in this country. No one is telling this to men. No one is telling men that they need to take care of their home, that they are the head of the family, and that women are just helpers. If I'm the helper, why am I the one doing all the work? If my role in the house is a helper, if my role in the church is a helper, then it means the lion's share is for the man. So why is it that we have a society that has placed the lion's share of the burden of the home on women who you claim are helpers? And the man gets to walk freely. Suddenly men come into marriages and they forget how to do anything. It's like, how did you exist before you met me? How is it that you were cooking and cleaning and running your own errands, and suddenly you come into what is supposed to be your own home, your most important organization, the place that is yours? Suddenly you cannot lift a finger. You are waiting on your wife to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She's the same person that is going, no one is telling this to men. No one is telling men that they need to take care of their home, that they are the head of the family, and that women are just helpers. If I'm the helper, why am I the one doing all the work? If my role in the house is a helper, if my role in the church is a helper, then it means the lion's share is for the man. So why is it that we have a society that has placed the lion's share of the burden of the home on women who you claim are helpers?
Wow.
And the man gets to walk freely. Suddenly men come into marriages and they forget how to do anything. It's like, how did you exist before you went to feed the children? She's the same person that is going to go buy all the groceries, cook all the food, wash all the clothes, and pay attention to what is happening in the school, what is happening to you, what is happening in your life. And she's also the one that should, make herself available to you at your beck and call. I mean, we need to stop this mess. And the church is the one furthering this nonsense in this country.
The church is catching
and
stray
so
bullets.
I'm calling on all pastors, get your act together. Because your sons are going to be left at the altar, or they will be left behind. Because my daughters, I'm not raising my daughters to sort your sons out. Sort them out before they come to my daughters, because they will be kicked right back to you. This really needs to stop. Why is it that men become incompetent and invalid the minute they get married? Are y'all okay? Get yourself together, please.
Really?
Going to feed the children. She's the same person that is going to.
Are you a crazy person? You not mad? You know me before. Who be this one? Who the are you?
Where do I start from? The only question that I have for this auntie, I had a question for this auntie. Anybody want to guess the question that I have for auntie? Some of you might have seen it on the screen already. You want to guess the question that I have for Auntie? I have a question for Auntie. I have a question, but I bet help me. This is the point where you come and help me, but I bet. No. I don't ask that question. Who hurt you, K? Beat about. You said that, Chidima. You said that. I didn't ask that. You said that, not me. Oh, who hurt you, K? I can only say that to men. I can say that to my brothers, because they'll let me have a pass on that. Okay. It's more like it's not a question, I guess. It's more like a request that I have from Auntie.
Wala, Nigeria don't report so at you cause I will call you. Wala.
It's more of a request that I asked from Auntie. She needs to tell us the rest of the story. That was quite personal. Okay, that was too personal. Okay, she needs to tell us the story. She needs to tell us how she got no help from the man that she was with, because she talked about her daughters. Okay, she's talked about her daughters, and she needs to tell us that story. I need to hear the rest of the story. I will not judge her until I hear the rest of the story, but there's some stories there. One thing I can tell you is that let me just play it and pause it, because she said a lot of things and she alluded to a lot of things that the Baba did not say. Baba did not say any of that. Okay. Good morning. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Women are not,
Let's see.
in this world to take care of men.
Wait. Let's go back to it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I come in peace. We have a crisis.
Wait. You knowing that you've seen that video already now, right? You know that you see that video. When she said come in peace, there's inconsistency already. She did not come in peace. This auntie did not come in peace. There's no way she came in peace, right? No, she needs to tell us more. Yes, now, but let's see.
In this country, women are not in this world to take care of men. We didn't come into this world to take care of all the children.
All right, so the reality is that nobody's in this world to take care of anybody else. But here's what you go into a relationship to do. Men or women, you go into a relationship to go and give, not give and take. You go there to go and give, period. If you get tired of giving, you start giving to yourself. Make sure you have enough so you can give to others. You go there to go and give. Now, if that sounds like taking care of other person for her, we got a problem. That relationship will work. There's ideology conflict now already, right? But she's responding to Baba. Baba never said that either. But let's keep going.
And all the errands and all the activities around the house. I am tired of a society that continue to push this narrative.
Oh, Lord.
Yesterday, Pastor Mike BAMILOYE posted a long epistle of, how women today are not prepared for marriage, and he has this advice.
All right, before she continues, this is what's more important for me, Brother Ben, and all our brothers. She's responding to Baba Mike BAMILOYE. A lot of women will interpret what Baba Mike BAMILOYE typed exactly as such. Okay? This is what you're going to, in real life, this is what you're going to be presented with. They're going to hear it from their place of emotions, and you're going to hear things like, are you saying, what did somebody just say? Was it by chance? Right? This is the reality. You're going to hear somebody say, but Ben is insulting women. Does it mean that women don't, you're going to hear, are you mean, is this what they won't ask you. They will basically react based on, they will help you interpret your lack of ability to convey your vision properly, to communicate. They will help you interpret it, and you will collect. That's what's going to happen in reality. So what she is doing right now is going to be your reality, and you better be prepared for it. Okay? So are you saying that we're supposed to learn how to read minds?
Will you keep quiet?
Yes. I know. You didn't know. I know. I know. Wait.
You never spelled it.
So you're supposed to read. Who's going to read mine? You? Okay. But that's unrealistic. No. It's unrealistic for you to think that communication is going to be like, I talk, me talk. I talk, me talk. We're happy, we're having sex. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. So what she's saying, she's responding not just to what Baba Mike said, but everything, her own ideologies, her experience, her own pet peeves. She's going to tell you in a few words. Like, I'm tired. She said, I'm tired. Not just of Baba. No, not just of Baba Mike. But she's tired of the narrative. What narrative? Basim Binunu. Let's listen.
95% of the advice was for women and 5% was for
She said 95% was for women. She might have counted it. It did seem like it was a lot more advice for women. Okay, the shots and the stray bullets, even when the Baba was talking to men, was firing back at the women. Can you really judge her for interpreting how she interpreted? It takes a certain special type of skill set to see this up front, so you don't end up in poto and come and be telling us your story on the internet how women are wicked. I'm telling you now, Emma, calm down. Your power, your superpower is your patience, your emotional self-control, gentlemen. That's your superpower. Sometimes you don't have to have all the answers. In fact, I'm not exactly asking you to read minds. I'm just telling you to calm down. You don't have to have an answer. Okay? If you just calm down, you might just find that you are actually able to hear a little bit more. And then to other lame men, you will seem like you know how to read minds. No. It's just that you are calm. You understand that people are coming from a place. Right? They're coming from tons of experience. Things that make up what they're saying to you at any point in time. So you don't take it personally. You let them get it out. And let me process that, Let me think. Oh, you have nothing to say. No, I do have a lot to say. But I want to make sure that I address that properly, But I hear you. What do we normally do? Kotoko, they have been teaching you to leave your marriage. So if you want to leave, just leave. Just leave.
men. You know what? We have women in this country that are over-prepared for marriage. That was all we heard all of our lives. Good morning. Come on.
She was going straight to 100 from 0. She came in peace. She came in peace. Yeah, for real. Let's keep going.
No one is telling this to men. No one is telling men that they need to take care of their home, that they are the head of the family, and that women are just helpers. If I'm the helper, why am I the one doing all the work? If my role in the house is a helper, if my role in the church is a helper, then it means the lion's share is for the man. So why is it that we have a society that has placed the lion's share of the burden of the home on women who you claim are helpers? And the man gets to work freely. Suddenly men come into marriages and they forget how to do anything.
No. You need to tell us about your man that came into a marriage with you and didn't do shit. He was leaving AK-47 everywhere. Let me see, Ola, this is giving where we miss it. People are so selfish these days, including me sometimes. As much as I like to think I'm nurturing selfless giver, yeah, we're selfish. We're selfish. Stuff we have to push against. Yeah. It's stuff that we naturally have to push against, generally speaking. Patriarchal values and modern values are clashing big time. Unfortunately, this will continue for a while. Exactly, Toby and Tribe. That's where she's speaking from. She's not exactly talking to Baba, but she's talking about everything. Baba, Mike BAMILOYE may have had remember I said maybe about 5% poison in his rhetoric. And that's all she heard. All the facts and truth that Brother Ben was hearing, this auntie is not hearing it. But this auntie is still hearing that 5% and she's multiplying it. Real life. Let's keep going.
It's like, how did you exist before you met me? How is it that you were cooking and cleaning and running your own errands and suddenly you come into what is supposed to be your own home, your most important organization, the place that is yours? Suddenly you cannot lift a finger. You are waiting on your wife to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Ladies, let me clear this up for you once and for all, okay? This right here is giving men don't do shit. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. Oh my God. There's no lie further from that. Or that's so far away from the truth. That is so far away from the truth. Now, granted, it can feel that way on your own end. Especially if you're doing chores, especially if you're sitting in the corner like that, like playing game while you're trying, and he leaves his AK-47 on the floor anyhow. Right? Of course. But please, okay? Please. This is not the session to tell you what men do, okay? Outside of chores and stuff like that. It doesn't mean it shouldn't help and be considerate and help. That's not what I'm saying. But this is giving, they don't do shit. That's a lie. That's just a lie. And that lie is coming from a disconnect between reality and emotions. The question you should ask is, please teach me, what is it that men do? Ask. The conclusion is coming from a place of, this auntie has not had a good experience with a man who was probably inconsiderate. Like, she was probably pissed off, he didn't pay attention, which men can be complacent in that way, sadly, sometimes, a lot of times, as a matter of fact, because he's done, he's toasted, right? And then he's sitting there, he just seems like he's having a good time playing games or something. But there's a disconnect. That's an assumption for the most part, okay? Because how do I know? I always give this example. There are men right now, my clients, that have done everything you ask them to do, wash butter, wash plates, share, and there's still no happiness because he's lacking emotional intelligence, because he had not done the work to actually understand what her love language is, or to even know his own love language, right? And that's what's missing. So he's doing all this thing that society is talking about, right? But there's still trouble in paradise. So they're confused. Like, after I've done all this, hey, you've done all this thing, but your mouth, when you talk to me, don't you realize? It's like, what did I say to you? All I'm trying to do is tell you the truth. They will teach you to divorce your husband, your very good man husband. He's doing that too. So the issue, it seems like all this surface level thing is not. It's never, okay? And how do I know? People like, hey, what's your love language? I think my love language is act of service. How do you know? I just know. You're lying. Okay, you're not lying. You don't know. You need to do the assessment. Okay? You need to do the assessment. Let's keep going. I want to finish this thing.
She's the same person that is going more consheni. No one is telling this to me. Going to feed the children. She's the same person that is going to go buy all the groceries, cook all the food, wash all the clothes, and pay attention to what is happening in the school, what is happening to you, what is happening in your life. And she's also the one that should, make herself available to you at your beck and call. I mean, we need to stop this mess.
And she needs to have sex too at the same time, and be hanging off of a chandelier, or doing what did somebody say the other day? Monkey shadow.
The church is the one.
The church.
This nonsense in this.
It's the poisons. The church will preach good stuff, 80%, 85%. The rest of it is poison, and the poison are quite confusing. And sometimes the poisons will look like positive stuff until you're actually in the experience. And even after you get the experience, you don't know exactly what you're facing, because you feel like you're doing everything that's right, but nothing is adding up. The experience is just terrible, And then the shame doesn't help, because if you're a divorcee and you're coming out of a church, the shame too doesn't help. The guilt, the shame, because all those women that seems like somebody is teaching them to divorce, they carry a level of shame and guilt that also eats them up. So we really got to be careful with that. It's not to normalize divorce. It's to say that oftentimes divorce is just the next best solution for the experience that somebody has gone through, But that's what that auntie has to say. That auntie was reacting. Her reaction is pretty real. That's as realistic as it gets. Okay? That's as realistic as it gets. People will react with their emotions. It is what it is. So who is going to take the lead to actually get through the bottom of what's going on? The lead. Who's going to take the lead? Whoever is doing the most complaining should take the lead in a relationship. Okay? At a society level, there's no other choice. Men will have to take the lead because we're the one leading the society. It is what it is. So it's going to get worse and worse for as long as we continue to disengage from the emotions that are driving this stuff. It's just going to get worse and worse, you know. See, Ola said she was pissed off. She was pissed off. Auntie in the car with leather looking interior in gym clothes during the day. She went to the gym now. It's not that men don't do shit. There are some men that don't. That's a fact. That's true. How many men the name of their children teacher? Do you know your children learning style? What foods are they allergic to? Now I'll tell you like this. That the answer to that question makes me want to do whataboutism. Shout out to Chidima. What about women that don't know that? I know way too many men that are extremely engaged. Okay, you know this guy Akabant, Aka the OAP or TV personality actor, right? He does like vlogging with his wife and stuff. Some few years ago when he just got married, he got into an argument with this girl on YouTube right there. I was trying to tell the girl because he was so engaged in all the detail. He had read his own stuff. There's so many men that know all that stuff. And they don't know how to back off and let the woman do the woman thing too. This thing is deeper than surface level stuff. It's knowing when to let go. It's knowing how to react to crisis. It's not the specifics, because for every specific you have, you can flip it to the other gender and it exists as well. And that other person, but that's not my experience. Me, I don't know. My husband is very engaged with that, and I'm terrible. He wants me to engage more, but I'm like, that's his thing. He wants me to teach them maths lesson too, and he gets pissed off. He doesn't know how to say, just leave her alone. She does other things well, strength and weaknesses. Strength, she does other things well. I'll take care of this side of things. If I know the teacher's name, that's my thing, right? But you're right. There are people with that experience, right? We just can't cast it and turn it to an indirect lessons of how to do marriage, because other people are having that experience on the flip opposite of it. You see what I'm saying? The same reason why I think cooking has nothing to do with how to do marriage. Because you would have known from day one that person that cooks or not. You would have known now. You know? But I been say I will pim. Now you want to pim. If I talk now, this chat will explode. Let me just listen. Snake in the monkey shadow. Thank you, Jerry. You better talk now, brother Ben. What is your wife allergic to if you don't have children? When was her last doctor's appointment and what were the results? A lot of women have this information about their children, husband. It's good that you have that. But I guarantee you that there's some things that attracted you to that man. Those were his strength, and you've disconnected from that and you're looking for something else now. Mashio. Yeah, it gets real, and this is a blind spot, because in all of our own opinion we see what we see, but for every single one of us there's a massive blind spot behind us, and sometimes it just takes, okay, let me calm down, let me turn around. When you turn around, there's still a blind spot, but just a little extra step backwards to actively listen. Right? Because you attracted that person once upon a time, and there's something that you fell in love with about that person, but you've disconnected from that person. You've started to compare that person to another idea entirely, right? So there's a lot of places in our issues in marriage and relationship where all we need is a little bit of gratitude, because what you focus on expands, positive or negative, right? You focus on negative, it expands, it occupies, because there cannot be a vacuum. It occupies the whole space for you, because it has to align with your reality. Like, it helps you spread it around. But just a little bit of intentionality with respect to emotional intelligence you're able to say, let me calm down. Let me calm down. What is it? Let me list out the things that I love about this person. Just that moment like that, right? First of all, you just gained a weapon. Not only is it going to grow, it can potentially spread to those other aspects that you would like to see too. You might be able to say, babe, I would like you to be involved in this. Get, you know, I that's just my fantasy that one day you will know where my thing is, where my, you know, you will remember to say, hey, how was your day today? Right? It's always going to, I'm sorry, it's always going to be deeper. That's a set of rules, the kind that Baba Mike Bamiloye gave us. It's always going to be deeper than that. It's going to take some effort on your side. It seems like you're doing all the effort because they're standard based. Similar to Baba Mike Bamiloye's standards. They're standard based, but they're not paying attention to the actual dynamics that you're being dealt. The cards is what you do with the cards you've been dealt, right? Like the parable of the talent is like, you're going to find something to complain. If you look around long enough, you will find something to complain about. All of us, I guarantee you, is the trick that the devil plays on us, right? Just look around long enough, there's something you can complain about. It's so easy, but the hardest part is, what is it that I can appreciate about this person? If there's nothing, absolutely nothing you can appreciate about that person, why are you in that situation? It's a viable question. It's a very realistic question. Why are you in that situation? You don't have to make a move. Just ask, why am I in this situation with this person? I think it might be time to, divorce might be your solution at that point in time. You know, so yes, I agree. Some wife knows all this stuff and all this stuff and all this stuff. I don't think it has anything to do with anything. I think it's just standards. A particular standard you set for yourself. A lot of people, it sounds good on paper, but when you really get deeper into it, the issues are deeper. You know. Shout out to Kay Asuko. At least Film Girl is not here today. Film Girl, she's coming back later on. She's probably in the background working. Auntie was not having in the AG Ohio. Are you a man or woman? Snake in the murky shadow or the eagle has landed? Ola, was that Ebuka? No, that was not Ebuka. Ebuka will not. I don't think he has the personality that will bring himself to that. Akabant is so engaged in everything. He's a modern man. He wants to know everything. Ebuka will not. Ebuka is a guy who understands the nuances, even if it's that. He lets his lady do what the ladies do. But some men, they are so into it because they've listened to enough women say, you do this, and then they don't know when to just say, okay, she doesn't want you to be loud about that. Okay, now you know when my time comes, or every month. But shut up, Jesus Christ, you talk too much. Some men don't know those nuances, right? And they're just trying to be better, but it's those nuances that's causing a lot of people problem, you know. Ebony Mary, welcome. I didn't see you were here. I work at a children's hospital and I'm always surprised how some fathers know nothing about their kids, down to simple things like date of birth. No, that's terrible. But there's a saying, don't start what you can't finish. Many people enter marriage taking a lot and then get frustrated. They do. They knew they couldn't keep up, resentment in the end. They do, but I always try to give them grace, because literally all of us that say I do, we don't know what we're doing. So I try to give them grace on that, you know. And I use that to say, hey, prepare yourself. Once you finish that wedding, the work starts. That's when you start to learn. That's when the comprehension starts. You can learn all the theory you want to learn before that, but once the wedding stops, that's when the actual comprehension, that's when it starts, you know. But there's okay, we covered that already. Ola is dropping gems. Weapons aren't only negative things. What we like about each other can be weaponized to breathe new life back into the relationship. Yes, absolutely. There's part of the frustration. You begin to ask yourself, do you have to carry a large load? Yes, that's when you start giving to yourself. That's the point. That's usually a sign that you've been draining yourself. You've drained yourself too much. It sounds like I'm blaming you for everything, but I think you should be able to, you should have enough to give before you try to give to other people. You should be able to save yourself first, right? Do you have to carry a large? No, you never have to do that. If it feels that way, even if you're wrong, if it feels that way, the result is never going to be good. So it's better to slow down and start giving to yourself. How many Amazon boxes are coming to your door front every other day? Just for you, not for the husband, not his cream, not his hair cream, just for you. How many? It's probably a lot already. You probably haven't paid attention to it, right? But I'm just saying, not necessarily material things. In terms of taking care of yourself, self-care, are you doing enough of that? Okay, all right. Because people tend to mimic the level of self-care you give to yourself. Okay, especially if you've never done that before. Once you start doing it, it creates a shock in their system. It creates anxiety. They start to wonder. They might even start to stalk you. Like, what is she up to? Why are you looking that nice? I'm working and caring for everyone. Yeah, slow down. Slow down. Not just for the sake of slowing down, to take care of yourself. There cannot be a vacuum. You cannot pretend that you're slowing down. You have to slow down so you can feed the number one you first. That's what you have to do. And then after that, then you need to engage gratitude. Okay? And then gratitude will help you to require or to ask for, because ask is part of the game, right? But you'll be asking from a place of you'll be asking in a very healthy way, as opposed to from a place of frustration, because that frustration is another beast on its own. That's not good. It will multiply. You know more about them than you know about yourself. Not good. Not good. You should take care of yourself. That's all sounding like you should take care of yourself. Do you know women instill more into their children than their dad? Forget about money, moral, and all from the mom. So treat them well. Hold them in very high esteem. Listen, we don't disagree with that. You're now making me going to sound like I was talking to Brother Ben. We don't disagree with that at all. But they're women. Okay? They're women. I know you think we're in 2024 and it should all be equal. That's simply unrealistic. Okay? It's not a matter of equal. It's a matter of understanding your strength and your weaknesses and complementing each other. And then it feels equal. It's not exactly equal. Other people might look at it and think it's equal. No, it is not. There's no math for that. It's about your strength and your weaknesses. Every side has the strength and the weaknesses. And then you have the skills to make sure they complement. Right? If that's feeling like a lot of large load on your end, there's only one thing after this session that you have to do. Do the inventory of how you take care of yourself. How have you been taking care of yourself? Well, I'm a mother. I can't just abandon my children. Well, see? You're a mother, okay? Then what is it about that excites you? What is it about that you can celebrate, right? There's a lot that can go into it. Depends on your specific of your story. I just want to say that because I might be generalizing a little bit. It depends on the specific of your situation, right? If you're doing something and you're truthfully doing it from a place of it's just a natural thing, then let's mean that. But don't forget to take care of yourself. And if you have to ask for help, if that person is the father, ask for the help. Okay? But if you're asking from a place after you have been frustrated, obviously that's not going to produce good fruit too, right? Because you have no idea what that person, that's another human being too. You have no idea what they're going through internally. Like I said, like they can be a mad person. I'm not even exonerating them. That person can just be mad. Because I'm sure that's where you might want to paint this person as they're not good enough. Good, they're mad. Do you know how crazy they are? Okay, let's focus on taking care of yourself. As in, like, do the inventory of how you've been taking care of yourself and manage your resources, including how you take care of your children. If it's part of what you've been taking care of and you feel this way, stop doing that. It's a full-blown adult. Stop for now. It's temporary. Stop. Okay? Because you cannot give what you don't have. You can't. Now, everything I've just said throughout this whole show in the past 2 hours is easier said than done. It's going to be hard. You need support system to get through this. You'll be triggered in and out until you figure it out. Okay? So let me just say that before we keep going. Chinye said, like being a superwoman. Please, I'm not a superwoman. Please don't try that. Clearly you're not, if you're complaining about it. If you are, and I don't mean complaining in a condescending way, as in like if it's not something you enjoy, you're not a you're a superwoman. You're not a superwoman. Okay? You're somebody's daughter. you should be taken care of too. But you need to learn how to take care of yourself first. Please. Do I need to remind you of stories like Osinachi and stuff? Take care of yourself first. Okay. Whatever you have to do. Sometimes somebody's going to say, I'm teaching them to build house in another city now. Listen, do what you have to do to feel like you're taking care of yourself first. All of that can be a temporary thing. Once you are given adequately to yourself, then you can pour into other people. Because other people have a lot more going on, especially if you're that disconnected from them. It's clearly not a united front. But that could be a temporary thing, but you need to make sure you're good first before you can pour even into your own children. I know that sounds harsh, but even into your own children, those kids are not going to get the best of you if you're not taking care of yourself. You know? But I bet we're still waiting for you to scatter the chat. But I bet it's liking the balance today. Don't mind them. You said it right, my brother. We all need to ask for help before frustration sets in. Marriage is a partnership, a team effort. Just ask. Just ask. My wife was guilty of not asking for a while. She was guilty, and it caused resentments, you know. And it became, that guy is just being intentionally wicked. And obviously that would be far from the truth. But I can't judge her because that's what it feels like on our end, right? And some people are lucky to be here, to still be in this. Some people are not that lucky, you know. Yeah. She is talking about she's a damsel in distress. Wahala. Anyway, this Mike Bamiloye's story. Is the Baba is not wrong. The young lady is not wrong. It's just that right and wrong is irrelevant, as usual. As usual, not relevant. Case by case by case. Case by case by case. All right. So we do have to cover a little bit more. The least. Okay, let me go ahead and cover the main story of the day, just in case I decide that after that I'm done. You know. But this story, if you got some value out of this, you definitely need to check this next one out. I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.